Hey guys, welcome to News Dump. And before we get into the entertainment news today, we thought it was vital to let you know that you are most likely entitled to financial compensation.
It's true.
This is not a joke, and this is not some kind of weird scam or pyramid scheme. You can literally get $125 by just clicking a few buttons. And yeah, this sounds like it's too good to be true, but a whole lot of you are legally owed this money, and you better take it.
Yeah. I mean, here's the rub. The $125 is a pathetic amount of money considering what you've already inadvertently given up. Because this windfall is the result of that massive Equifax hack from 2017 that essentially leaked everyone's personal information, including social security numbers, just out into the wild, despite the fact that you almost certainly never even willingly gave Equifax this information. They just had it. Because they're one of the major credit reporting companies that operates in the US, and that's just how shit works.
So yeah. It's been quite a while since we've heard anything regarding this whole data breach, but thanks to a deal that Equifax struck with the Federal Trade Commission earlier this week, they're being forced to pay out $125 to anyone who was affected by the data breach if you live in the United States of America, obviously.
Is this universal basic income? Is this what
so.
Andrew Yang was talking about?
The government fucks you over enough, or companies fuck you over enough, and you get the money. I mean, if you do live in the US, there's a pretty damn good chance that you were affected by it, whether you were aware of that or not, because this whole thing involved around 150 million people. Again, your personal information not being leaked to people who could and potentially have used it for nefarious purposes, it's worth a hell of a lot more than $125, but this is why they're forced to pay out. And if you don't claim it, they essentially have to pay less. So let's hurt them as much as we can while getting some scraps in the meantime.
Yeah, so here's how to claim your money. There's an official settlement website that we will link down in the description below. You're gonna head there and enter in your information, including, and this is the part I don't like, your social security number, to see whether or not your personal data was affected by the breach. And then someone will hack that website and it'll start all over again. But yeah, if you do find that you were part of the hack, you then file a claim using that web portal, and it'll give you the option to receive $125 or 10 years of free credit reporting / monitoring.
The mystery box.
Our choice would be take the money because, you know, it wouldn't make much sense to allow the company who leaked your shit in the first place to now be in charge of protecting you for 10 years. Fool me once, Equifax. There's also a few further options that you can read through and select depending on how bad the hack affected you personally. Basically, like if you can prove that you spent any money protecting your identity in the wake of the hack.
Or that your identity was actually used by people that ran up credit card bills or opened accounts in your name or anything like that. You can get a whole lot more money back.
Yeah, I assume it's not as easy as, you know, just saying, fuck you, pay me. But it's an option. Yeah. And if it doesn't apply to you, just skip that shit and boom, there you go. You just got 125 smackaroos from a company who dicked you down. Even though you probably never wanted to work with them in the first place. And the more people who are aware about this and claim their settlement, the more it's gonna hurt those bastards financially. So tell your friends and family because fuck Equifax.
Yeah, fuck them. But Equifax isn't the only company losing a ton of money for screwing people over. It looks like there's also consequences for media companies this week too.
Uh-oh.
Remember when all the big internet service providers and media conglomerates said that getting rid of net neutrality would allow them to lower prices and make things even better for the consumer?
Is that happening because they said it would?
Even back then, everyone knew they were full of shit, and it should come as no surprise that rates continue to increase for basic cable and internet packages, as well as digital streaming services. At least now, customers are finally fed up enough to tell these companies to go fuck themselves, and they're just canceling their plans entirely en masse.
Good. Case in point, at&t's DirecTV and Uverse, who just this week reported they'd lost nearly 1 million customers, thanks to their incredibly big-brained idea to jack up their prices on their services by up to 100% of what people were previously paying in some cases. What could go wrong? This went wrong, you fucking assholes. Yeah. According to at&t, around 778,000 subscribers from their DirecTV satellite and Uverse packages have canceled, and 168,000 subscribers from the DirecTV streaming service have also ditched the companies for greener pastures. In their own investor report, at&t indicates that this mass exodus was the result of general price increases, as well as people who were upset that their promotional period had ended, resulting in a drastic increase in price for them as well. Yeah. They, if you want to save money, ISPs, maybe don't mail me 5 fucking letters a week trying to get me to get a fucking landline in my house. It's not gonna happen.
We'll give you a big discount if you just get the phone in your house hooked up to a landline.
Like, at this point, the amount of ISP junk mail I've received in my lifetime has to add up to like one California redwood sequoia, just torn to pieces, so they can be like, hey, you know, in case of an emergency, you're gonna want a landline.
There's like 7 ESPNs now.
I know you haven't had cable in fucking 15 years, but you know what? We got this good deal that's gonna expire way before you think it is, and then fuck you in the ass. How about that?
Aside from the rampant disregard for the environment by sending mailers out constantly, there were also plenty of people who commented on the various stories about this regarding the loss of subscribers for AT&T, and they stated that the worst part of these price hikes was that the company allegedly did a terrible job of informing customers of the changes, probably on purpose, and they just simply relied on the fact that a lot of people have their accounts set up to auto pay. So unless they were checking their bills online the second they were posted or going to their mailbox that day to check the mail, and instead we're just letting AT&T take money out every month, they would have no idea that the price had gone up and that they were paying way more than they were used to until it was too late. A lot of people online were saying that like they got the mailer, but they got it a week after the price hike had already taken the funds out of their account. Oops, my daisy.
Whoops, we're usually so good at the mail. Why did we fuck up this one time?
It's not really the best plan to retain loyal customers AT&T, but you do you. This whole thing certainly doesn't bode well for the upcoming Time Warner streaming platform, which, if you'll remember, parent company AT&T, and that platform is called HBO Max, of course, because
slandering a good company's name.
You could easily assume that they will attempt to get people to subscribe to the service and then probably pull the same shady tactics that they've used on literally all of their other services on this new one.
Yeah, I don't feel too good about it.
It's like they almost have a track record of dicking everyone down. So
lovely. Anyway, moving over to news about movies. Marvel showed up big time down at San Diego Comic-Con last weekend, showing off what the next few years will look like for their movies, as well as what they'll be debuting on Disney's new streaming service, Disney Plus, which launches later this year. We'll start with the Disney Plus stuff, and we knew about a few of these titles, but here you go. Kicking things off will be The Falcon, and The Winter Soldier.
Ooh, Burr, it's cold.
Starring Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan, which will debut in the fall of 2020. Then, in spring 2021,
that soldier has thawed out and he's ready. It's spring soldier time.
Yeah, the summer soldier. Where's my Mai Tai? In spring 2021, we're getting that show about the Scarlet Witch and the Vision titled WandaVision.
WandaVision.
Hope it's a sitcom. As well as a standalone show about Loki. Cool. In the summer of 2021 comes the first animated show that Marvel's doing for Disney Plus called What If?
Anything could happen.
And rounding things out is a standalone Hawkeye show launching in fall of 2021, which I can only assume features a great theme song by multi-talented Renaissance man Jeremy Renner, who is just as much of a musician as he is an actor.
Go listen to his album. It's fun. As for their movies, the standalone Black Widow movie will be first up, and that has a release date of May 1st, 2020. Then there's The Eternal, starring Richard Madden, Kumail Nanjiani, Lauren Ridloff, Brian Tyree, Salma Hayek, Leah McHugh, Don Lee, and Angelina Jolie.
What?
And that'll hit theaters November 6th, 2020. Kumail Nanjiani's going to get ripped.
Good. Cool. He's been hanging out with Dave Bautista for the last year.
Because of Stuber.
I'm sure he learned some tips.
Yeah. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, starring Simu Liu, Tony Leung, and Awkwafina. That comes out February 12th, 2021.
I'm in a Marvel movie.
Then there's a sequel to Doctor Strange, amazingly titled Doctor Strange in
the Multiverse of Madness.
They have a lot of fun titles for these movies coming up. Fun. That drops a few months later on May 7th, 2021. One of the ones that we're most excited for, Thor, Love and Thunder.
Got the love.
Got the
thunder.
Performed by Jeremy Renner. That will star Natalie Portman alongside Chris Hemsworth and Tessa Thompson. And it comes out November 5th, 2021. And it will, as we've previously mentioned on this show, be directed by Taika Waititi. So chances are it's going to be really good. Rounding things out for Marvel Studios Films was a fantastic surprise. A new Blade movie, which will star Mahershala Ali in the title role.
It's the only one I'm actually excited for.
Perfect.
If I'm being perfectly honest.
Gonna be amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Alongside all of this, and oddly enough, with perfect timing that aligned with all of their announcements at Comic-Con, was the news that Avengers Endgame has officially topped Avatar to become the highest grossing movie of all time.
You did it. Take that, James Cameron. Get off your high horse. On the topic of delays, you're probably going to have to wait just a bit longer than previously thought to feast your eyes on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, because it looks like the complete redesign of the character. Would you know, it's a pretty big undertaking, and it was even bigger than this studio planned for. Turns out, the main character of your movie, replacing him completely
Could take a little time.
takes some time.
And then when they saw the Cats trailer, they were like back to the drawing board once again.
No. They took all of our best ideas.
Mm-hmm.
The original release date was this November, but, well, that's not happening. That whole controversy about Sonic's look happened. The film was then pushed back to February of 2020. And now it seems as though the film was pushed back once again to March of 2020.
Just an extra month, but they need it.
They need that month. Obviously, these delays mean that the movie will be incredible, since they're putting so much work and time and effort into it. And it won't be horrible based on the actual movie itself, because everyone seems to be pretty much settled on the fact that the only thing wrong with it was how Sonic looked. Everything else was great.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have cared. If the whole thing looked bad, I would have been just like, whatever.
Just
let
pick
sleeping
Sonic.
dogs lie. But because so much of the trailer was just so
amazing.
It really gripped me.
Uh-huh.
And I was just like, the only thing wrong with this otherwise perfect-looking film
Exactly.
is that Sonic's eyes look a little bit weird.
And he has teeth.
Maybe change that.
Now, in movie subscription service news, because that's a weekly fucking thing now, Regal has finally confirmed and announced the details of its service that will compete with AMC's A-List, and I guess MoviePass if it ever comes back. They're calling it Regal Unlimited. It's going to range anywhere from $18 to $23.50 a month, and that's depending on where you live and which tier you're basically forced to choose. It's actually pretty convoluted, so we'll just break this down as easy as possible. You can pay $18 a month for Regal Unlimited, which includes, quote, many theaters. You can have Regal Unlimited Plus, that'll run you $21 a month, and that will unlock, quote, more theaters. And then there's Regal Unlimited All Access. That's the one that's $23.50 a month, and that one allows you to see movies at any Regal theater location.
Cool.
Check your local listings.
Yeah, consult the map. You're gonna also get some perks like discounts on food and drinks, but there's a weird surcharge system in place here. Basically, if you see a movie at a theater that isn't included in your plan, you could be charged an extra $1.50 to $3 per movie, and there could be extra charges for seeing movies in enhanced theaters like IMAX, 4DX, or just theaters that offer 3D or premium seating like recliners. Seems like a stupid fucking idea and an easy way to piss off your customers by charging them more than they think they're getting charged simply because they wanted to watch something in 3D. And probably aren't aware of the fine print. But again, you do you, Regal.
Yeah.
Make that paper however you do it.
This is going to fail eventually, so let's milk everyone for every dime they're worth right at the beginning.
We're just trying to get bought by Time Warner here.
Yeah, seriously. Now, anyways, this week had no shortage of trailers, both for films in the somewhat near future and for stuff you can actually watch right now. The Great Hack is out now on Netflix, and it's a documentary that explores how a little data company named Cambridge Analytica came to symbolize the dark side of social media in the wake of the 2016 U.S. presidential election. Actually, there's one of the people that is backing Brexit is suing Netflix and tried to stop the release of it.
Probably has nothing to hide.
Absolutely not. Looks really, really interesting. I'm going to watch it this weekend. I didn't get a chance to watch it so far, but...
The Boys are back in town, and they're now on Prime Video.
Yeah.
The Boys. The show takes place in a world where superheroes embrace the darker side of their massive celebrity and fame, and revolves around a group of vigilantes known informally as The Boys, who set out to take down corrupt superheroes with no more than blue-collar grit and a willingness to fight dirty. This looks very violent, and maybe too violent.
It's good. It's really good. It's so fucking good.
That's
and
good
yes,
to
you're
hear.
not wrong. It is extremely violent, but I was like, I'm going to give this show a chance last night, and I burned through 3 episodes like nothing, and I wanted to keep watching it, but I looked up at the clock, and it was 2:45 in the morning, and I was like, I have to get some sleep. But this show the production quality is through the fucking roof. The actors and actresses playing all the roles do an incredible job. Carl Urban's in it, and he's amazing in it. But yeah, it's very much superheroes belong to a big corporation who handles everything that they do, and turns out they're all terrible fucking people. And there's a vigilante group that wants to punish them for that, and I'll leave it at that. But yes, there is some. One of the first scenes in the series is really brutal, and the whole thing's extremely dark.
Yeah.
But there's a scene in the 3rd episode that I won't go into too much detail on, but when you see it, you'll know that it's probably the grossest thing you've ever seen on what is considered a television show, as far as gore goes.
All right, good to know.
Yeah, it's really gory, really dark, but so far, incredible. Like I am hooked. I cannot wait to get back from the soccer game tonight to keep watching this show because I'm gonna burn through it this weekend. It's that good. Yeah.
Does Amazon post entire series
yep,
all at once?
All at once.
Oh.
It is up now. You can go watch it if you have Prime Video.
Hulu's the only one that does it fucking old-fashioned stuff.
This is the problem too, is like Prime, the only reason I even knew about this show was because they played the trailer for it before we saw Mad Max at the cemetery.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would have completely missed this. So we're telling you about it because I think it's really good and I think you would enjoy it. Yeah.
Zombieland 2 is coming out October 18th.
Everyone says the trailer's great. I refuse to watch it. I'm not as interested in this movie as...
You wanted it. You got it.
Yeah. Everyone says the trailer looks great, though.
I'm sure. Oh, here's one I do care about. Yeah. Rocko's Modern Life, Static Cling. Rocko's back, baby.
And he's
on
in the
August
9th.
Not too long away.
Yeah, he comes back, and it's not the 90s anymore, and his favorite TV show is canceled, and he's got to fix it. Rocko's Modern Life was one of my favorite cartoon shows as a youth.
It's great.
So I'm very excited to see this coming back. One cartoon show that I didn't really watch, but people might be interested in. There's also an Invader Zim movie coming out.
I know literally nothing about Invader Zim.
All I knew is a lot of the goths, they loved it.
Yeah, that Mr. Rogers movie, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, comes out November 22nd, and I have absolutely no interest in it. There is so much good Mr. Rogers content out there. If you really want to learn about this man, either in documentary form or written form, this is literally just Tom Hanks in a fucking red sweater doing a vaguely Southern accent. He neither looks nor sounds like Mr. Rogers. There's no immersion here whatsoever.
Yeah.
I just can't get excited about this at all.
I watched the trailer and I felt something because Mr. Rogers is such a wholesome, great person. But I agree that I'm very conflicted because I love Tom Hanks as an actor.
He's
and I love Mr. Rogers. And I'm probably going to see this movie. But yeah, I don't know who could play Fred Rogers.
Gary Oldman. I thought about this for a few days, and it's like Gary Oldman actually has the build and the acting chops to pull it off. Well, so that would have been my choice.
Anyways, I just go watch the documentary's already out. You can watch it for free on PBS and other places. So watch the documentary.
There's some movie called The Fanatic that's directed by Fred Durst and stars John Travolta.
Yeah.
Just a real pair, a dream team of fucking relevant winners.
Those people combining to make a movie makes me very interested in this movie.
Yeah.
It's about a rabid fan who stalks his favorite action hero and destroys the star's life.
Cool.
And if you didn't know this already, Fred Durst he's directed other movies too.
He's directed several movies.
But this one stars John Travolta with a mullet, so
nice.
Color me interested. That comes out August 30th.
Cool. Well, that's it.
Yep.
If you haven't listened to our exclusive podcast for the week.
We do a bunch of Jeremy Renner renditions. We write songs
Renner-ditions. Yeah. It's for our Patreon supporters and YouTube members at the $5 level. If you're interested in hearing us shoot the shit every week,
go sign up.
Go sign up. And also watch our latest episode of Tech News Day, as well as our exclusive, very important interview with presidential candidate Ace Watkins.
Tell your friends about that one.
It's a pretty big deal, and I think you're going to like it. Anyway, stay tuned for a new episode of Weekly Weird News coming soon.
Go watch The Boys. Great show. Dan Trachtenberg directed the first episode.
Me and the boys.
Saturday's for the boys, so take Saturday and watch The Boys. Bye.